Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Saba Show. And today we've got round 16 of the Dice Footy Championships. These are the results from last round, and this is the ladder as it currently stands. You can see a lot more movement once again. Teams like Carlton and Sydney, who were in the top 8 2 weeks ago, are now in that mediocrity part of the table. You've got the Crows winning a couple recently. You've got the Bulldogs losing a couple recently. So some other teams can catch up. And some other teams can be sucked into that, that 18th position that no one really wants. I'm talking about Geelong. But without further ado, let's get into this week's round. First game of the round is 1v2. Brisbane taking on the Bulldogs. And if the Lions win this, that Bulldogs lead that they had over second place, I think it was as large as 3 wins at one point. That's completely evaporated with a loss today. And Brisbane have started this one extremely well. They kick the maximum. Second quarter isn't quite the same heights, but, it's up there. Doggies, can they get back into the contest? Somewhat. They're only down by 5 points at halftime, which is a good sign for them if they want to, halt that losing streak that they've got going. The Lions have kicked 17 behinds in 3 quarters, so inaccuracy much. And the Bulldogs, well, they are well and truly in the contest here. We've got 1 quarter to play. It is a 5-point ball game. And Brisbane kick... Oh, God, that is just atrocious. If they lose this game, it will all come down to that inaccuracy. The Bulldogs need 15 points to win, and it is a procession. So they get back on the winners list. They win this one 119 to what I believe is 98. So good win for the Dogs. Second game is St Kilda taking on the recent sliders in Carlton. And Carlton have started extremely well. 6 goals, 6 to get things going. And for St Kilda, it is not as flashy a start, but they aren't out of the contest. Plenty of time to go in this game. And the Blues kick 3 goals, 1. So not great by them in the second quarter, but they can hold St Kilda, and if they do, it will be deemed a success, and they did that to quite an extent. So good first half for Carlton. They need a win desperately, and well, they haven't had a great third quarter either. So St Kilda with a window of opportunity. I couldn't get my words out there. But they do lead at 3/4 time, so this one could go down to the wire. The Blues need to kick a good score, and well, their second half has just been quite poor, if we're going to be honest. St Kilda don't need to do too much. They need 2 goals, 2 to win, and they have absolutely blown it. Absolutely blown it. They lose by a goal, did the seemingly impossible, and didn't kick what they were required to do, and that was only 13 points. So Blues will pick up a much-needed 4 points. Next up is Essendon taking on Sydney, and both teams, well, they need to get back on the winners list. I think Essendon have been roaming in that part of the table for much of the season. The Swannies were as high as 2nd position, and that was as recent as about 3 weeks ago in the Dice Footy world, and they are now languishing quite a lot lower than what they were earlier on in the season. And the Bombers at the moment, well, I was going to say they were off to a brilliant start, but their second quarter backline let them down, and it is a 1-point lead to Sydney. Third quarter is much better by Essendon. And, well, with a good defensive performance in the third, you would sense that a win is on the cards, and Sydney have done not a great job of that third quarter, made an absolute mess of it, and it looks like the Bombers may be getting the W here. Very accurate kicking by them in this game, and the Swannies, well, I think the game was already done for them. They do, consolidate some of the deficit. Should I say they rescued the game just a little bit, but in saying that, they've still lost the game, so you're coming up as empty-handed as you would have been if you were losing by 70. Next up is the Crows taking on the D's, and the D's, once again, much like Sydney, were a team that had a lot of success early in the year, but now have just, been slacking a little bit, and the Crows have picked up a couple wins in recent weeks, so they aren't as far from, getting off that bottom place in the ladder as they were a little bit earlier on. But the Crows have, had a pretty good first half here. 9 goals, 12. You're not complaining as a bottom place side. But the D's have just been much, much better and much, much more accurate. They kick 12 goals, 5 and lead despite having less shots on goal. Third quarter by the Crows isn't great, let's be honest. Not 165 behinds there for them. And the D's, 5 goals, 3. So I think they're very well positioned to get the W here. And the last quarter for the Crows, well, they probably had basically little to no chance of winning the game, and they just eliminated any possible hope with a terrible last quarter. And the D's will be picking up all 4 points and bragging rights. We've got Geelong taking on North Melbourne here. First quarter for Geelong, it's all right. It's not bad. It's not great. 4 goals, 4, pretty mid. North Melbourne, let's have a look. 6 goals, 3 for them. I would have, said that if the Crows got up last game, Geelong would have desperately needed this win. I mean, they need it anyway because they've had a pretty appalling season and, they need to rescue it somehow. But this first half is an indication of how they've performed this season, which is pretty much hot garbage. Although they are in the contest, North haven't been the greatest side either. But Geelong, I mean, just keep on getting better and better in terms of being shit. 1 goal, 6 in that quarter is never going to win you a game of football, and I think North have put this game to bed with a very solid third quarter, which saw them score 6 goals. The Cats replicate that in the last quarter, but it's going to be too little too late. Even if North got the minimum, they still would win the game. Mind you, it was pretty close in the end to 1 goal 1, but regardless, they'll pick up the 4 points anyway, and Geelong slumped to another defeat. We've got a top 8 clash between Gold Coast and Collingwood. Let's kick this bad boy off with the Suns, and they start off pretty at Metricon Stadium, or the imaginary Metricon Stadium. Collingwood do much, much better though. 6 goals, 3 for them, and Gold Coast, what can they do in the second quarter? Well, they kick 5 goals, 4, which is quite solid by them. And Collingwood, not bad, not great. They do lead at halftime, but they only hold a pretty tight advantage. It's only a goal the difference, and the third quarter by the Suns is pretty good. 5 goals, 2, pretty accurate, and they hold the Pies as well. So very solid last couple quarters by the Suns to fight back from a 26-point halftime or quarter time deficit, and they could get the game done and dusted here. It's not over yet though. Collingwood need to kick at least 39 points to tie, and they don't even get remotely close. So they lose this one by about 4 goals. Richmond taking on West Coast. Here we go. Richmond starting us off with 4 goals. The Eagles have re-entered the top 8 because of other teams dropping games that they need to win. The Eagles, can they capitalize on this and get a little bit of breathing space? You know what I'm saying? They haven't started well to do that. Conceded 68 points in a half, and that's usually not going to bag you the lead. They've been accurate though. I'll give them credit for doing that. 8 goals, 2.5 is pretty good accuracy wise, but probably not enough in terms of scoring output. And the Tigers, well, they're very well positioned to get the W here. They haven't won too many games this season, but the Eagles, I mean, have made it very interesting with a very strong third quarter. The maximum, it's 3 points the difference, and the Tigers could have potentially thrown this one away. The Eagles only need 2 goals to win. Early in this round, the job could not be completed by Geelong or whoever it was, St Kilda, and West Coast. Well, they get the W here. It will be 18 goals, 12 for them. I mean, I thought Richmond had this game in the books. However, West Coast stormed home and got the dub. Second last game, it's GWS taking on Hawthorn, 2 sides that have been basking in the bottom half of the table. And that start by GWS is indicative of their form. Hawthorn with 2 goals, 4, so not much better than them. So this is your stock standard bottom 8 clash right here being presented to you in front of your eyes, and GWS are just playing like shit. I think that ladder position does them a little bit of justice because they've been awful. I just lost my voice. And Hawthorn, well, they haven't been great either. The Giants just keep on making things worse for themselves. I mean, this scoring Well, this scoreline is just atrocious viewing, but somehow they remain in the contest. They only trail by 5 points because Hawthorn are matching them in garbage level. And the last quarter by GWS, I mean, they could have rescued it here. They end with 10 goals 20. I mean, that's not going to win you many games of football, given the inaccuracy, but it may actually prove to be the difference. Hawthorn will end up on 77 and lose the game because GWS were absolutely garbage in front of goal. There you have it. Final game is Fremantle taking on Port Adelaide. Here we go. Port Adelaide, I mean, they need to make some gains on the top two teams. They've been sitting in third for quite some time now. Got that position consolidated, and they start very well here to do that even further. However, Fremantle's second quarter is very good. Very, very good. Port Adelaide, can they respond? No. So that is a bit uncharacteristic of them. And Fremantle, wow, what a middle two quarters. That is just unbelievable. Already cracked the ton, scored 78 in the middle two quarters, and could potentially bag them the win. However, the Power are not going away. They are down by 3 goals. It's not impossible. It's going to be tough, though. And Fremantle may be able to put this one to bed. No. Far from, actually. The Power need 6 goals, 2 to tie, and 6 goals, 3 to win, but they don't get remotely close. Get the absolute minimum. That's not how you want to be closing out games, and Fremantle pick up the win. And alright, this is the ladder after round 16. You can see the results there as well. Bulldogs broke away from Brisbane's shackles once again. It looked like they were gaining, but that win over the Lions actually has given them a little bit of breathing space. You can see also the Eagles are moving up into the top 4 now, which is just nuts to think, given they were, 11th, 12th 2 weeks ago. We've also got some teams picking up 8 wins. Fremantle, Carlton, means that, the race heats up for the top 8 once again. It's all down a percentage at the moment. So if you can pick up a big win, that's going to be extremely valuable. But that's going to be it from me. Hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the show. This is a weekly thing. That's going to be it. So thank you. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.